Welcome back to another video. I purchased another Toyota. I told you guys I was done buying Toyota for the year 2022, but for some reason this red T100 magically appeared on Facebook Market and I just had to pick it up. This right here is a 1998 T100 V6, a 3.4 5EZE engine, automatic SR5 model. This is my first time owning a T100, which is pretty nice. There's a lots of things that I love about it. It's just, it's very similar to a Toyota pickup, except the inside is way more spacious. If you were like a 6 foot tall guy, girl, you might like the T100 better compared to the pickup because, you know, more head space and stuff like that. More for your for sitting down, you don't bump your head. And the cab here has a bit more room. A full-grown adult can sit back here and they probably won't complain too much as they do on a pickup. Check it out. She's not pretty. The Toyota red is known for fading, so we'll go around, take a good look real quick. Rusty red, rusty rear bumper as always, and looks like it got rear-ended right here or something. They must have backed up to something, bent the bed a little bit. There's a little nice divot here. Looks pretty cool, man. Looks like it's gonna give some clearance on some 16-inch wheels. Could use some better tires. Look at this gem. Now the frame is completely rust free. I'm not gonna crawl under it, but you guys can take my word for it. Completely rust free, originally from California. This truck here has some pretty cool history. So there's still the paperwork. The owner still had the paperwork when they bought this from California, a auto dealer from California, Madison, Sacramento. During that time, they bought it in 2004, and it had only 78,000 miles, and they paid about 15,000 after the interest fee. They paid about 16 grand for this vehicle. This vehicle now sits at 241,000 miles, and pretty crazy, right? The person that I bought it from, when I got it from them, they still had the California title. They had to go switch that over first because they signed the back already. So they went ahead and signed, switched the title to Alaska title, and then they gave me the Alaska title. So this is pretty cool. We'll show you guys the outside, and then we'll talk about the inside a little bit. But I want to give you guys a little bit of history of this truck because there's some pretty cool stuff that's about this truck. So I bought this from a fellow. I bought it from a fellow older Asian guy. He was Hmong as well. I'm Hmong. He's Hmong. And I found out later that he was the father of a good buddy, Fresh City Barbershop. You guys remember Fresh City Barbershop? Lester. He moved out of Alaska already, but this was his dad's truck. So I bought it from his dad. But the crazy thing was that when I was in high school 10 plus years ago, there was another kid same age as me. He was a Hmong guy, and his name was Jan, and he would always drive this to school. Or not always, but whenever he had the chance, he would drive this to school. And I realized that this was the truck. This was the same truck. So from what I was told from the previous owner was that when he bought this in California, he was the co-sign for another, you know, they call it another uncle. So one of his uncle, he was the co-signer. But then his uncle passed away. So I'm wondering if his uncle was the one who owned it, which was my buddy Jan Lee's dad. And then that's the reason why Jan was driving it in high school. And then when that uncle passed away, it went to this recent owner who was the co-signer. Now it belonged to him now. So I think that's the story behind it. One uncle had it, passed away, and then it went to the co-signer, which was the recent guy that I bought it from. Now that guy owned it for, you know, 2004, whenever. And there's two types of old people that have Toyota trucks in this world. There's the one that babies it. They'll baby it. They'll take good care of it. And then there's the one who's gonna use it. And this was the one that used it. They used this truck for its purpose, used it for a farm truck. It's super filthy inside. You can see all the damage, the sun fade and all that stuff. So it's totally cool. Because the Lexus LX 450 that I bought it from, that guy, he definitely used that Lexus as well. He didn't baby it. So it is what it is. So that's a little bit of history of it. Now, the owner that I bought it from, he got COVID, I think last year or so. And you know, he's older already, you know, 65. I think he's over 60s. He's over his 60. He told me he got COVID last year. And then ever since he got COVID and he got recovered back from it, he kind of lost his eyesight. You know, he doesn't have the best eyesight no more. And then his kids, you know, they also bought him a brand new Honda CRV or some kind of Honda, some kind of new car. So he has a new car already. His eyesight's not the best, and he doesn't need this truck. So that's the reason why he was selling it. And he also said that it was making some noise or some problems, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So that's why it was on the market. So it was on the market for about a day. I contacted the person. It was his son who actually posted for him. I contacted him, hey, I want to come check it out. And then he was like, hey, there's another guy in front of you. If he doesn't show up later, I'll let you know. And then later that evening, you know, that guy never showed up, and I went to go take a look at it, and man, it was good. The previous owner was stating that it was making some kind of clicking noise when they were driving it. Probably the axle or rear U-joint, something like that. But when I got to it and I looked at it and I test drove it, I found out that the vehicle was left in four-wheel drive. And the previous owner also stated that he hasn't driven this since last winter. So it's been sitting for over a year. So from my guess, they must have drove it last winter, left it in four-wheel drive, parked it, and then this recently fall, they were getting it ready to sew, and also it was making this noise. So it was in four-wheel drive, and when you drive a truck in four-wheel drive on pavement, it's gonna make click, click, click. It's gonna start chirping your noise, and I think that's what he was hearing. So I turned off the four-wheel drive and I drove it and it worked fine. And then I shut off the vehicle while I was driving it. I parked. I stopped about a block away from his house. I shut off the vehicle because I wanted to start again. Tried starting it, it wouldn't start. Battery was dead. They came by, jumped the vehicle, and first thing it needed was a new battery. So I bought it. I bought it. Now, it was way more filthier. It was way more filthier than this. I went ahead and did a lot of vacuum already. Did a lot of vacuuming. I'm thinking about getting a professionally detail shampoo. It's super simple, super clean. Looks really good. The rear view mirror broke off for some reason. 240,000 miles. Missing some of these tabs. I have extras. The pressure gauge doesn't work because the oil pressure sensor, the wire got cut off for some reason, so I probably got to splice that back. But it was super dirty. The steering wheel was super torn up, so I went ahead and put a steering wheel on it. This is my old one from the Land Cruiser, and I bought a new one and I put that on the Land Cruiser instead. The heater works great, but it's not blown strong. It's hot, but it's not blown strong. I took down the heater flange. I opened the heater blow already, and it looks clean and nothing wrong with it. So it might be some ducting that's blocked. Something might be blocking the ducting. And what else is there? Yeah, it was just super filthy. Like, there's like popcorn, trash everywhere, which is normal. Like I say, it's a farm truck. It's pretty nice here. You can see that they have the VIN number on the windows. So these are the original windows. This is the first time seeing Toyota did this, so they must have done it on the T100 only, because on the pickup 400s they don't do that. The gas door don't work, so to open it you just kind of have to use a flathead or something, and it just pops out like that. So, pretty ghetto, but it is what it is. At least it stays put. The door doesn't lock for some reason, or it locks. The door locks. It's all electronic door, so it locks, but for some reason this key doesn't turn it, doesn't open it, which is kind of annoying because I'm not to leave it unopened. But the windows roll down all. This starts the vehicles only. Tires are in pretty bad shape. Couldn't use the new tires. They did include some studded tires. CV axle are still all good and stuff like that. So when I bought it, it had a bull bar. I took that off, and it had a little fake roll cage. I went ahead and took that off because all that was rusty already. So I'll post some photos of that. Trashed it. And then also on these 90s Toyota, they had a recall for the steering rod. The steering rod is basically what connects the two tie rods from one end to one end. There's a recall on that, and then all you have to do is just punch in your VIN number on the website, on the Toyota website, and it'll tell you if they performed that work yet. If they haven't performed it, then you can get that job done. And I put the VIN number on the website, and this one still had the recall, so I called the dealer already. I got an appointment set up, and they're gonna order parts and get that installed next week. I'll drop it off next week or next 2 weeks or something. So they should put a new tie rod. They should put all new tie rod and a steering rod in alignment once they're done, because the alignment right now is pretty bad. So the fading is pretty worse. It's not bad, or like I say, it's Toyota Red. It is what it is. This is what the passenger look like. It's way super big, man. It's big compared to a pickup. You can see here it's all dirty. Definitely needs a shampoo. So I might get it a shampoo, I might not. We'll see how it is. The plan is to maybe give this a little tune up and then just go from there, keep it for a while, and then sell it. I went ahead, like I said earlier, the first thing I did was bought a new battery because the old battery was completely toasted, not holding a charge anymore, even though it's only like a year old. So I went ahead and bought a new battery, swapped out the air filter already, and went ahead and performed a oil filter change already. And then I went ahead and washed the vehicle, pressure washed it, washed the frame, washed the undercarriage, and I also washed the engine bay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the engine bay here. I'll go ahead and post up a photo of the engine before I did all this. I'll show you what it looked like. It was pretty dusty and dirty. So for the most part, everything looks good. Radiator looks good. Looks like it's been swapped already. They're using the red coolant, which is good stuff. It is leaking a little bit right here, so this clamp needs to be tighter. This is the overflow reservoir. But there it is. Everything's good, man. 3.4, 5 EZE. I haven't cracked this open yet and checked the timing belt, so I might do that in the future. Check it out, see how bad it is. If it's bad, then we'll go ahead and replace the timing belt overhaul. A new filter. New battery from Walmart, Everstart Plus 24F. And that's pretty much it. Oil change, all the belts look good. So it does have a typical oil valve cover leak about here. So if I keep this long enough, I might tackle that. I might put new valve cover, and then while I'm there, I'll put new intake gasket, manifold gasket. Probably check the spark plugs and replace the spark plugs and all that stuff. It is missing the the brake cylinder, the brake MC cap, and I think I might have an extra one for all the vehicles that I part out. So right now the owner just put some plastic and rubber band it. At least it's dry right now, or at least it's waterproof. So I'll replace that. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and flush the brakes, because this brake fluid looks pretty dirty. I checked the brake pads. Brake pad looks good. Didn't really need to do anything. I did went ahead and replace the idler arm. I just did that today because earlier when I had the vehicle up, you guys can see right here, that nice shiny black piece right there. Earlier when I had the vehicle up, I took both of the wheels off and I shook it, and that front idler arm was pretty loose, so I went ahead and replaced that. 45 bucks from AutoZone. And then the steering rod, tie rod, I'm gonna let Toyota fix that because that's free recall. They're gonna change that out of no charge. Haven't changed the diff fluid yet. I might do that later. It's just been raining all day. Not so fun working in the rain, but yeah, guys, this is the T100. I don't know. I'm gonna keep this for a little bit. I do need it for some stuff because I do need a truck this week to haul things around and do some runs and stuff like that. But I'll slowly put some work into it. I'll slowly put some money into it and do some tune-ups. I definitely want to put some new shocks. These shocks look like they're pretty dead, and they look like they're the original one Toyota. So you know, it's been over 20 plus years. For the most part, it works good. Priority rise right now, I don't want to do anything that's too crazy. Priority wise, I just want to change all the fluid, and then I definitely want to get that heater fixed. like I said earlier, it's not blowing strong heat for some reason. When you turn on the when you turn it high, you can hear the fan. It's like it's going full speed, but it's just not coming out. There's no airflow coming out. It's like very settled. It's enough to help defrost the windows right now, but in the wintertime, if it gets really cold, you're gonna have to let it really get heated up before you can get some air here. So if you guys know what's wrong, I'm hoping that it's not the heater core. I hope that the heater core is not clogged up. I did a little bit of research, and people post up some photos of where the heater core is all like clogged up with like gunk and stuff. So hopefully it's not that, because the heater core is a PITA to get to. It's like 1,000 pieces of plastic and bolts. So this is it right here, my new truck. First time owning a T100. I'm happy to say that I've owned 4Runners, 2nd gen, 3rd gen 4Runners, pickup. I've owned Land Cruiser. I've owned T100. The only thing I haven't owned, I own Tacomas, 1st gen Tacoma. And the only thing I haven't owned yet is Tundras. My next truck might be a Tundra. They're pretty, they're out there. There's some for sale, but I like the T100 so far. I like the T100 because there's a lot of room. There's a bigger space bed already, and it has one of my favorite engines, the 3.4. The 3.4 is a super fun engine to own, super reliable, and it's really easy to work on. So if you guys are looking for a good Toyota engine to work on, 3.4. There's a dog. Whose dog is it? Oh, letting their dog runs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys follow the Instagram, NuttyNu_404. I'll keep you guys posted on what I do with this truck. But for now, we're gonna have some fun with it and go from there. If you guys got any questions, leave it in the comment section below. See ya next time.